see the screen over here? Yeah. These are some pictures I brought to you to show you what a weather person does and what I do every day. I make a forecast. My job is I'm a public servant. I teach you how to, or tell you what you need to wear for school the next day, or tell your mom and dad it's going to rain, or if it's flood, it's going to snow, we're going to have a snow day. You go to New York City Public School, you'll never have a snow day.
Never. And the calendar says brand wearing turtlenecks.
So my kids, and I have 4 of them. And I went all through their years of school and spoke in their classes and tried to help their, administrators with snow days and things like that. And so I'm very used to helping. I used to actually talk to the school superintendent in the city all the time. I haven't talked to the new one yet, but we always talk about the weather and that sort of thing. So what I do is I just want to show you the screen, and on the screen here is a picture I made of 3 hurricanes. This is what a hurricane looks like. Anybody remember or heard of Hurricane Sandy in the area, right? Well, I'm going to show you some pictures of that. And as we go through, I also took some pictures of when I was flying in a hurricane. All right? Yeah, and then I'm going to show you.
Awesome.
There we go. Now, this is obviously an
Airplane.
yes, it's an airplane. It's a very special airplane. It's called the Hurricane. And I've flown in this airplane 8 times. The big one and the small one and the Jet 2. That's a G3. It's a Gulfstream 3. These are airplanes that go and fly to a hurricane, and they fly the plane inside of a hurricane. Now, why would we do something like that? The reason why is we can take an airplane and fly it way out into the Atlantic. It has special instruments on the airplane, like this little thing under the bottom here. That's a radar. And on the nose here, this is a special type of thermometer and a moisture gauge. You tell how much rain is in the storm. On the wings here, there's a little special gadget there on the wings right there that tells you the salinity of the salt water in the ocean that's rising up into the hurricane. So I'm flying in this airplane. I'm sitting about right back there in the back as we're about to fly through a hurricane. We were going to fly, at this time, we were flying through one of the most strongest hurricanes on Earth, and that was Hurricane Gilbert. It had the lowest pressure of any hurricane on Earth at the time. And so we're about to fly through the strongest hurricane ever. So as we fly through the middle of a hurricane, I took this picture, and this is the eye of a hurricane. The eye of the hurricane is the center, where the sky up here you see is clear, and you see the sun through the hurricane. But the hurricane is very dangerous on both sides. It's like a giant pizza with a hole in the middle, or a giant donut or a bagel with a hole in the middle.
Victoria, let's see a question.
Oh, hang on, I'll do a question just a second. I'm going to show you this pictures I took. So as we're flying through the middle of the hurricane, you can see the sun come through the top of the hurricane. And that's the middle of the hurricane as we're looking at the top. Hurricanes also come at night. I took this picture when we were flying through a hurricane at night when we were going through the eye of the hurricane. When we fly through hurricanes, we throw junk out the back of the airplane. That is called, in that box, which is a biodegradable box, but there's a buoy in there. So our hurricane is way back here, where you see that misty cloud cover. And so what we're doing is we're dropping these buoys in the water, and the hurricane's going to go over that. And those buoys are going to tell us all kinds of information as to what's going on inside the hurricane. All right? And see, this is our plane right here. And we're flying in the eye of the hurricane, and all that red is the thunderstorms. And the winds in this storm were 185 miles per hour. So you can imagine when we flew through the red part, what it was like to be in the airplane. Can you imagine what that'd be like? When I got on the airplane, the captain gave me a helmet. And I thought, what do I need a helmet for? Do you ever get on an airplane and they go, now everybody sit down, we're about to take off, this is your captain speaking, we'll be flying 3,000 people, please put on your helmet. They never say that, right? The guy handed me a helmet. So when we were flying through the thunderstorms, you know what the plane ride is like? Terribly violent. I was very glad I had my helmet on before getting in the roof. So as we're flying through the hurricane, there's all this rain and wind and stuff going on, And here's the cockpit of the airplane. So it's really cool. We're at night, we're flying through here. Now our captain, he's sitting right there. And when I got onto the airplane, he said to me, Bill, here's your helmet. Did you have anything to eat before you got on the airplane? And I said, no, I had a sandwich and a Coke. He goes, that's good, that's whatever. So I'm thinking, why would he ask me when I had to eat? So I walked down the hallway to go sit down in my chair and strap in. And I got up and I went back and I said, why is it you wanted to know if I had anything to eat? I said, what should I have eaten before I got on the airplane? And he said, you should have eaten bananas. And I said, why bananas? He said, because they taste the same coming back up. And he's right. So this is what it looks like as we're flying toward our hurricane. You see all the instruments there that are on the windshield. So we know that we're flying at a certain altitude. We were flying, this was our speed. We were flying, this is a big airplane, so we're flying at 253 miles an hour, which is kind of slow. And we were flying toward the southwest, 169 on the compass right there. That was our direction. That is a hurricane. That's what a hurricane was like on a satellite picture. That's Hurricane Katrina, which your parents have certainly heard about it. That's a storm that hit Louisiana some years ago. This is the hurricane that we were flying through, Hurricane Gilbert. Very large hurricane. And that's what these are satellite pictures that I look at. And hurricanes can occur all over the world. The Earth is 78% water. So there's a hurricane forming down in South America. There's a hurricane out here in the Atlantic. And there's a hurricane here along the Atlantic coast of the United States. So they can occur in a lot of places. And that's why we give them names. The reason why we give them names is because there could be 3 or 4 hurricanes going on at one time. So if you're a researcher or a meteorologist and you're trying to study and figure out where these hurricanes are going, you could get confused if you don't name them. Is it hurricane number 1? I don't know, I was looking at hurricane number 2. So we never did use numbers, we started using names. And we use the names, but we grow names and we alternate. Anybody know what that might be? Volcano. We study volcanoes. That's ash from Mount Pinatubo. We look at volcano pictures. That is a thunderstorm. That's right. And these are people who make a living chasing thunderstorms. They're called tornado chasers. I went with this group of people and we were in Oklahoma and we were chasing tornadoes. These people are 3 things. Very smart, all meteorologists, and they're crazy. They take a perfectly good vehicle with very expensive radar on it, and they drive into a thunderstorm. While everybody else is driving away, we drove into it. All right? That's crazy. But we're doing research. So that is a tornado. That's a big tornado. All right? This is the pattern. That's what we were looking at. Now, tornadoes come in different sizes. This one's called a funnel tornado. Okay? This one is called a wedge tornado. I took this picture in Oklahoma in a cornfield. At the bottom is corn. After the tornado went over it, it turned into popcorn. Okay? That's called a rope tornado. And sometimes behind these tornadoes, you'll see a rainbow. How many colors in a rainbow? How many colors in a rainbow? Very good. There's 7 colors in a rainbow. Can you name them?
Red, orange, yellow, blue,
I watched this news this morning. I'm sorry.
Me too.
Very good. Now, sometimes you see a double rainbow. Okay? When you see a double rainbow, the colors are what we call reversed. Reversed. Okay? You'll see the reds going to indigo, and then the other way it's indigo to red. All right? That is called a funnel. You were paying attention. See, there was a quiz during this. That's very good. That's a funnel tornado. See, the teachers didn't even get that. What is that tornado? Road tornado. Wedge tornado. Funnel tornado. Yeah, shaped like a funnel. There you go. And that is lightning. Cool. Lightning's very cool. Lightning's cool. There are 1 billion volts of energy in 1 bolt of lightning. A billion. You can power the entire United States, the whole electrical grid, for a whole day with just 1 bolt of lightning. Just 1. The whole electrical grid. That's how strong lightning is. Lightning is, there's 26 different kinds of lightning. up lightning, down lightning, heat lightning, there's ball lightning, there's all kinds of lightning. And lightning is the size of, what do you think the size of lightning? What do you think?
Giant.
Yeah, size of a giant? What do you think? How big do you think lightning is?
City.
It's a big, like Madison Square Garden big, you know? Lightning is actually the size of your pen. This is how big lightning is. If you were to grab it, it's the size of your pen. But it looks so brilliantly bright because it has 1 billion volts of energy in it. And you see all the little arms coming down? This is down lightning. I took this picture out in Arizona, in Tucson.
How did
Right.
you take it?
A viewer sent me this picture. 2 summers ago.
Empire State Building.
And so I wanted this picture. I asked the guy to give it to me, and somebody got to him before I could get to him. He sold it to Getty, but I still kept it. Getty's a company that takes all these pictures, they sell them. So I got this before the rights of it. But anyway, that's down lightning, and you see that is of course the
Empire State
right? You see all the little arms coming down? And so this bolt of lightning hit down in lower Manhattan. It hit a building down in lower Manhattan. But most buildings are what we call grounded or protected. The Empire State Building gets struck by lightning many, many times every year. Last year, the Empire State Building was struck 3,000 times by lightning. 3,000 times. That's a lot. Anybody know what that is?
Snow.
You know, I get that a lot from kids. That this is jellyfish. That's very good. But it's not. What do you think it is?
Snow.
Wrong.
Ice.
Next.
It's a
A
good guess.
tornado.
K-112, anybody?
What do you think?
Ice.
Ice is right. A form of ice. It starts with the letter H. You don't get to see this much around New York City. That is hail. A hailstone. Okay? Now in wintertime we have sleet. In summertime we have hail. And that's a big hailstone. That's 4 inches in diameter. It's a big hailstone. See how it's frozen white like that in the inside there? The way hail is formed, it's formed from a raindrop. And it keeps going around and around and around and around until it's so big it drops from there. But it's frozen white like that when the temperature is 47 degrees below sea level. Really cold. These are ships that the government uses to travel the world. If you're a meteorologist, this is what some meteorologists do. They're on these NOAA ships, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Association. These boats travel the world. This is Prince Edward Island Sound in Alaska. They travel the world. That's a meteorologist working for the National Weather Service. He's looking at the weather. That's a job in weather. This is what I do every day. Look at weather maps, upper air charts, computer charts, this sort of thing. This was actually the Halloween storm from 2 winters ago. Remember that was the only time we had snow too. That's the storm, and it reached all the way down to Arkansas. So it's a pretty big storm. This is one of the largest trading floors in the world. This is the UBS trading floor. They use meteorologists to forecast the weather on Wall Street. And this is an intern line. And that is Mark. And Mark came to me from Cornell University, and one day he said to me, I don't want to offend you, I don't want to be on TV or radio. I said, but there are other meteorologist jobs. So I took him down to Merrill Lynch at 53rd Street and Fifth Avenue and let him see the meteorologist that forecast the weather. So he sticks his head in a computer all day long, forecasts the weathers for the commodities board. Because weather is 1/3 of our whole economy is dependent on weather. 1/3 is dependent on automobile companies, shipping, trains, planes, automobiles. Everything is dependent on weather. Corn, wheat, soybeans, everything is all dependent on the weather. That's that was a bad day on Wall Street. Weather records are made to be broken. Anybody know what that is? What is that?
A tire.
Finally, I've hit the level. I've hit the school zone. Some first graders, and now we hit the level. What is it? A what? Close enough. It's an album. They sell these on the street now. But anyway, there was a house there, and it was hit by a tornado, and it fired this record album into this telephone pole. So I kept that picture. That's from the 1930s, 40s. Now this is one of my pictures I want you to take. Pay very close look at this picture. Look at the bottom. because this is a little bit hard. But I want you to take a look at the bottom.
Whoa.
So, look at very closely. Anybody know what this is? Nope. No. What is it? It's a dust storm. It's a dust storm. Now, teachers, everybody look very close at this picture. Alright? If you look at the bottom, you'll notice that there are people standing outside as the dust storm is coming. This was taken in 1930. Now, our weather today, right now that's going on around the area, is the same type of weather we had in the 1930s. There's been a ton of dust storms out west, but you don't hear about them now because our farming conditions is a lot different. So our farming conditions have really improved. They're a lot different. So you're hearing about these dust storms around the Phoenix area and in the desert. That's the only place. You don't hear about them. This was taken in Kansas in 1930. But look at the houses. You see the people standing outside? They're looking at the dust storm. And so the more I look at this picture, I notice there's one thing about this picture that's unusual. What do you think it is?
I think it's yellow.
Oh, the yellow? Okay. What do you think? What do you think is unusual about this picture?
I think it's like, I see like, there's like, kind of like dust, it's like snow.
Okay. Looks like snow. What do you think?
It looks like, but why is it facing the ground? It's facing the ground.
Okay.
It looks like upside down like me.
Okay. What about the buildings? What do you notice about the houses? What do you think?
I think that, that big whole thing, that, dust storm is like all around it, that like, no, like, people could get out.
What do you think? I'll let the teachers
And
answer.
nobody can see.
What do you think? What do you think's unusual about the picture?
How the house, everything is still intact?
Look at the windows.
They're
Are they
open.
covered or
They're
blown out?
hard
No
open.
windows. Oh, for the pressure.
Yeah, from the pressure of the dust storm. So they used blankets. And so they would walk outside, see the dust. They had so many of them back in the 30s. They'd walk outside, talk to one another, see the storm coming, go back inside, keep their windows closed. The dust storm went by, and then they went back outside. So I thought it was really just how they adapted to the weather. Their adaptation was really good. So these are colleges where people are going to go. That's me. I did the weather for, that's Al Capone's jail cell. It is. I did the weather from there. I did the weather underwater. Scuba diving. All dogs love weathermen. I was doing a morning show with this doggy who wanted to take my arm home. I was doing the weather with some Navy SEALs and they threw some water. I wrote some books and this kind of junk. This is my office. This is where I make the weather. I make the graphics in my office, and then I talk to a perfectly green wall. This is how we do the weather. You'll notice in the picture, there's a graphic there where I'm standing looking at the weather, and this is how we do the weather on the set. Those are the people that I work with. This is our own set, too. And if you make a bad forecast, they put you in jail. So, that's my book is called. It's Raining Fish and Spiders. So I'm going to answer some of these questions you guys gave me. All right? No, I was teasing. They don't put you in jail. I was just doing the weather from behind bars. Actually, that's a cool place to go see. Actually,
Sorry.
oh, it's okay. It's actually the penitentiary that's in the middle of downtown Philly. And so now it's a museum. And so they have Halloween in there and parties and all. So Al Capone was there for a while. So I went down there as well. Okay, this is from Eve. Have you seen the movie Grease? I have seen the movie Grease, and can we visit you at your job? Yes, you can. You just bring money and we'll work it out. Where do you come from and where were you born? Did you go to Weather College? Clem. Where's Clem? All right. Yeah, yes, I'm from Mississippi. I grew up in a small town in Mississippi on a farm. And I always wanted to be in weather ever since I was 9 years old. Our house and everything was destroyed by a hurricane, and so I went to college. I was studying meteorology in college, and I went to Jackson State University in Jackson, Mississippi. Do you use a green screen? Riley? Yes. You saw we use a green screen?
She's in an after-school class that they need movies, so they get to.
Oh, you use the green screen.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
get to be in
and
front of
also
it.
they use, you can use about any color. You know, movies they use black. When they use CGI for movies and stuff, they use black. And we also use the color blue. But if you wear the blue, you know, you're invisible. If I were to wear that color green, I was invisible. One time I wore green to Halloween every now and then. All you see is my head.
That's why you didn't wear green for St. Patrick's
So
Day,
I
right?
didn't wear green as a
They say the color screen that you're behind, you cannot wear that color.
That's right. You'll be invisible.
Yeah.
So if I wore a green tie, you can see an idol through my chest. So, Marcus, what's the weather for tomorrow? It's going to rain after school.
It's gonna rain.
Yay!
Rain, rain,
That'll go.
Yay for rain. And we don't get to go outside for recess.
How did you know when Hurricane Sandy was going to hit? That's a question from Eve. How do we know when Hurricane Sandy was going to hit? Well, I'll show you.
Oh, that's what it is. It's a cake.
I was going to show you. That's interesting. Oh no, we use satellite pictures. Remember that first picture I showed you with those satellites, the satellite picture with the hurricanes on it? That's how I know. When did you start being on TV? I was 17. The first time I was on television. I was actually, the first time I was on television, I was actually 9. I was 9 or 8. I had to do a commercial one time. And so I was 8 years old. They asked me to come down to the television station and do a live commercial. So I went to do a live commercial. I was 8 years old, and it was for fried chicken. And so in those days, I grew up in a small town. We just had one television station. It looked like the scene from Where Far Out There Brother, you know, radio station out in the middle of nowhere. Pretty much what it looked like. And so I go there, and they go, now look here, little William, we want you to do a commercial for Jack A's Fried Chicken. I'm all right. So I'm 8 years old. The people at the television station knew my father and my grandfather who were pastors in the town. They were always looking for people to do stuff. So they did live television back in those days, in the 60s. This was 68, 67. I was in second grade. And so I was for Jack A's Fried Chicken. They said, you'll go out there, the piano player will play music, and the chicken will be sitting on top of the piano. Just take the chicken and talk about how delicious Jack A's Fried Chicken is. So I go out there, and the piano player starts playing, and they go, and now here's little Bill Evans to talk about Jack A's Fried Chicken. And I look in the basket, and somebody had eaten all the chicken. And all that was in the basket was bone. So I was horrified. So I looked in the basket, and I looked toward the camera, and there was a little director standing outside. He goes, just tell him how good it was. And I'm like, this is Jack A's Fried Chicken. It was so good, the crew ate all of Jack A's Fried Chicken. You know, that's how I started on TV. How is rain made? Christy. Where's Christy? All right, very good. How is rain made? Rain is made when all the sun heats everything and moisturizes into the atmosphere. We call that a gas, which is called moisture. And then as it rises and it cools, it condenses. We call that condensation. And it changes into rain. So the sun comes out, heats things up, that moisturizes and cools rain. That's how we do it. There are 2 words for fall. Fall and autumn. That's a great question. Ryder. Where's Ryder? There you go. Great question. The reason why we call it fall and autumn. Fall is the season. And when we start fall, we have what is called the autumnal equinox. Okay? When the earth starts its rotation back toward closer to the sun and away from the sun and gets cooler, we have the fall equinox, the autumnal equinox. So someone just shortened autumnal, and we call it autumn. 2 words. We don't have 2 words for summer, do we? Hot and summer, that's about it. Will it be warm this summer? Yes. Or snow during summer? No. Elira? Is that how you pronounce it?
Elira.
Elira. That's a beautiful name. Very nice. Italian? Elira? Yeah, very nice. How did you get on channel ABC? Did you have an interview? Yes and yes. That's from Stella. Yes, I was working in Dallas, Texas, and they asked me would I like to come up here and work in New York. She said yes. We like to dance in our class. It's from Emily. What is your favorite song? I like that happy song.
Oh, that's our favorite song. You want to talk or we say, oh, me? Oh, yes. That's one of our favorites.
job. I don't even have a job. You know, if you go to a place and work every day and you love it, it's really not work. So what do you eat for breakfast and dinner? Colin? I've never been asked that before. That's a great question. The answer is everything. For breakfast, you know what? I'll eat because I get up at 1:30 and 2 o'clock in the morning. I have to be at work at 3. So like at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'll eat cheeseburger, barbecue, for dinner, I like sushi, steak. I tell you want to be a weatherman. Oscar, I tell you want to be a weatherman. You know, when I was 9 years old, I was hurricane destroyed our town, and I want to be a weatherman. I know there's going to be a big storm. We see it all of them. We see that on the radar and on the satellite pictures. Do you have any pets? Yes. I have a dog named Sandy.
I showed them. I showed my class. Yes.
Yeah, I have a dog, a pet poodle. Wasn't supposed to be my dog, but it ended up being my dog. Do I live on the Upper West Side? No, I work on the Upper West Side. I used to live on the Upper West Side. I live in Connecticut. How does thunder happen? Thunder, Nash. All right, where's Nash? All right, Nash. Thunder is the result of lightning. So every time you see lightning, you will hear thunder. And the way you can tell how far away the lightning is when you hear, next time you see a flash of lightning, you count. 1001, 1002, 1003. And so when you get to about 1005, the lightning is a mile away. If you don't get to 1005, the lightning's a lot closer. So I'll never forget one time I was out playing softball with some friends, and there was a cloud coming up, and I said, I'm getting out of here. Because it's going to be lightning soon. And of course my friends were like, no, we can play another half hour. They got aluminum bats, you know, I'm like, no, we're out of here. The moment that the lightning flash went off in Midtown, we were playing in Central Park, the moment the lightning flash hit in Midtown, I went, 1,000. The lightning was like, we're already on time. What is your favorite color? I like red. Do you know everything about weather in China? Winter. Not everything, but a lot of stuff. I know that they use a lot of weather manipulation in China to, you know, they have a big population to feed people in China. So they fire rockets of sodium iodide in the atmosphere to make it rain. So they have a very rainy atmosphere in China. How do you know every day what the weather will be? We look at the weather on radar, satellites, on the computer from the West and from Canada. And that's where most of our weather comes from. So we just watch what's happening in the western United States and across the earth. Oh, great on time. How do you know when it will rain? Colin. We look at the radar. Weather radar, greatest invention ever. How do you know what the weather will be every day? We look at satellite pictures, weather information. You can get all this stuff too on the internet, on any of the weather sites on the internet. How do you know the different types of clouds on a cloudy day? Well, that's a good question. Griffin. Where's Griffin? Good question. The reason different clouds are for different weather. Okay? High, thin, cirrus clouds are fair weather. Lower clouds, dark and gray, nimbus clouds, snow. Billowing clouds that are dark, thunderstorms, those are cumulus clouds, stratocumulus clouds. It's good to know the different types of clouds because you can actually forecast the weather about different clouds. Hannah, is there going to be another snowstorm this season? No. We're done.
No snow days.
When is it going to be warm? Eventually. No. When is it going to be? Molly, where's Molly? When is it going to be warm? It's actually going to be warmer tomorrow. Next Wednesday it's going to be to 60. It's going to start. You see it slow up more as we get toward Easter and Passover. Do you have any children? Yes. Were they in K-112? No, they didn't go there. They went to the brick church in Park Avenue Christian. How cold is it? How cold does it have to be to snow? Anybody know the answer to that question? This is from Juliet. Juliet, where are you? How you doing? How cold does it have to be to make snow? How cold?
Below 42 degrees.
That's right, man.
Good, yeah.
Either inside or outside, tell weather. Both. thrilled. All right, very good. How did you know you always wanted to be on TV? Have you ever been in an earthquake? Yes. I've been in it. What is the remote in your hand on TV? That we used to change the graphic pages. You notice how I was changing the graphic pages with the arrow here? Well, the graphic pages we changed with a little remote. It's actually the weather computer has a receiver in it, and we can change the graphic page. What is your favorite temperature? You know, I kind of like them all. I mean, I grew up in the South where it's always, you know, 9 months out of the year it's summertime. So it's so nice to have 4 seasons. So, although winter has been pretty overstated as well. All right, anything else I can answer for you guys? Yes.
How many times can you get the full press roll before you fly it?
About twice. So, I know there's an old adage you have this job where you can be hard all the time and get fired, but no, you can't. There's too much competition. You know, in that, and so I've been doing this in my 40th year.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I know I don't get on the Olympic and all that. I've been doing this a long time.
Do we have any other questions? Nathan, you had your hand up. You have a question? Remember, a question is something we want answered, not a story.
I think our questions are the same as K-112. How do you know what the weather's going to be? When is summer going to start? And who makes the weather? Go ahead, Bill.
Well, you know, the planet is such a great place. I mean, our Earth is an amazing place of weather. You think about it. You can go from the North Pole to the South Pole, and you can get all kinds of different weather. Right now on the planet, there's 300 active volcanoes. And so it's just the more I study the weather, the more I realize I don't know anything. But it's just an amazing place, our planet and our atmosphere. You know, our atmosphere, our air is a giant filter that goes out 500 miles, and it's pure, it's clean, and the planet is in great shape, it's very strong. I always tell people the health of the planet is governed by, generally by the severity of the weather. You know, nature, I always tell people, nature is not, it is and it isn't, but it's not when you're walking out in a green field of grass and a meadow and it's sunny and blue skies. That's when nature is loading up for the next big weather event to take place. And so that's how you can tell that the planet is very healthy. The planet, of course, I mean, we hear these words called climate change all the time. The planet is changing. The climate changes all the time. So, you know, this year we got 60 inches of snow. 2 years ago, we got 6. So the planet is always changing. Weather is always changing. So that's the beauty. It never gets done.
I know.
What?
I don't like. What?
Yes.
Have you ever been to the moon?
I have not been to the moon.
We've been to the moon. Both of our classes have been to the
You've
moon.
been to the moon?
Yeah.
Field trip to the moon.
Field trip
Across
to the
the
moon.
street at the museum.
And then we get left
That
out.
place is cool, right? The Rose Planetarium. Yes, that's awesome. People have wanted to put me on the moon.
Is the severe winter any indication for a hotter summer?
Statistically, they don't correlate.
They do?
A cold and bitter winter does not correlate to like a hot summer.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's cultural norms. I think, well, we got a rough winter, now we're really going to get it over the summer again. So it doesn't correlate at all.
What about rainy? Since we have so much snow, that it won't correlate as far as rainy summer?
No, the snow will be great. We won't even have to worry about any water issues or restrictions, or the reservoirs are full.
Oh, right.
You know, that's a good thing as you go in summer, because if the summer is the time of year where water usage in the city is at its highest. I mean, I worked here when we had drought and the reservoirs dried out, and they were going to have to pump water out of the Hudson, and they have a plan for that. But you know, they haven't really. They've gotten close to having it. They have a plan.
What's your favorite sport? And could you bring back summer?
The second part of that is yes. My favorite sport is baseball.
My favorite sport is this.
What's your favorite team?
Uh-oh.
My favorite baseball team, well,
Nash, are you listening?
I'm a New York Yankees fan. I'll tell you a little secret though.
Okay, we're listening, we're listening.
I played baseball for the Mets in my young career. When the Wilpons Fred Wilpon bought the New York Mets in 1978, I was playing baseball for the Lynchburg Braves, which was owned by the Atlanta Braves at the time, and then the Mets bought the team. And I played one season for the Lynchburg Mets in minor leagues. And I played middle infield with these guys who went on to come to New York, which was fun. I played with Wally Back. Darryl Strawberry played like 2 weeks. He was gone. Lee Mazzilli played a week. He was gone. They all just went flying through there. They were such good baseball.
Yeah.
So, but I do owe them a debt of gratitude for paying me $5,200 All right, everybody. I gotta go talk to some more kids after school about the weather. I gotta go to Connecticut. So.
What do we say?
All right. Thank you. So you're always welcome to come go down the street to 67th Street, come for a tour. You're always welcome.
Oh, yeah?
That's what
What we take 25 at a time.
Well, we got 20.
Yeah, let's sneak in and see 25 kids.
We need a shout out tomorrow morning.
Oh, we're gonna take a picture.